everyone, I am Stephanie from Lazy Cake Creations and I am the admin of Lazy Knitting Machines. Today we are going to be making a simple ponytail beanie created by Rachel Patterson. I am so proud of this girl. She just got her machine not too long ago and she's already designed her own pattern. So big shout out to Jamie. Awesome. Congratulations, girlfriend. So today we will be needing the sewing needle, a hair tie. I like to use the Goody Ouchless brand from Medium Hair. These ones are really strong. I've never had any of these really break on me. I mean, like, I use them in my own hair, so they last a really long time. And then your hook, if you need it, and then scissors, and that is it. Oh, and junk yarn. You need junk yarn. All right, and let's get started. All right, so in the pattern, we're going to be starting with 5 rows junk yarn. 80 rows is color 1. This is going to be the inside of your hat and your brim. That's going to show on the outside. 50 rows color 2, and then 5 rows junk yarn. If you don't want to change colors, then pick 130 rows for one color, and then you weave in the tail at the end over the hair tie. All right, so we are going to start with our 5 rows of junk yarn. Make sure your row counter is clear. Now pick the color that you want for the inside of your hat and the fold-up brim. Today I'm going to be doing purple. Make sure your row counter is clear. And we are going to knit a total of 80 rows. Alright, after we reach our 80 rows of color 1, we are going to put in our color 2. Clear your row counter. And we are going to knit 50 rows with our color 2. I like to do like 2 or 3 rows first of my color change, and then I go back and tie these together and trim the tails, unless it's like a single layer and then I have to, you know, like weave them in to hide them. But the doubles, I just trim them to about here and just let them hang. So let's do our 50 rows and I'll meet you at the end. Alright, done with our 50 rows. I'm not going to cut the tail yet. I'm just going to let it hang off to the side. I like to keep a needle here to hold my tails when I don't want to cut them yet, and that's because we're going to need the tail long. So I just don't want to cut it right now. And then we're going to put in our junk yarn. And you don't have to clear your row counter for this if you don't want to. And we are going to knit 5 rows of our junk yarn, and then we will just let it fall off of the machine. All right, we're going to cut our tail fairly long. I just took it from the hat and just wrapped my hand a few times like that, because we're going to need it to wrap around the hair tie. And then we want our tube to be folded inside of itself like this, so that both of the ends are together. And then we are going to put the needle on this, grab our hair tie, and start weaving the top up. And then I always like to check my hair ties just in case, because you never know. When we have the first row with the junk yarn, it doesn't have a completed beginning stitch, so I like to complete that. And what I do is I follow the tail of the junk yarn. So I put my hook into this stitch right here, and then I follow the tail up to the next stitch, grab my hat yarn and pull it through those, And now I have a completed stitch. And then we are going to, and you can tie this off if you want to right now, or you can tie it off after, whatever is easier for you. So we're gonna have our needle on here. We're gonna grab our hair tie, and I am going to come across to that one and put it on my hair tie. Now I'm going to go across to the next stitch, and I'm going to come from the outside, go under the hair tie, through that one, and up. And same thing, come to the outside, go through, go under the hair tie in this stitch, and pull up. And we are going to repeat this all the way around until we get to the end. And when you get to the end, don't forget to finish by going through your very first stitch. Make sure you pull all your stuff tight as you go. All right, I'm gonna complete this. Keep doing this all the way around, and I will meet you at the end. Here we are at the end, and remember, we still have to do the first stitch, so we want to make sure we're picking up the right piece, that little tiny piece in there. And you can come back through whichever one you want to, if you want to go back through the last stitch that you already did, or if you want to go through the first one that you did. It really doesn't matter. Just make sure you get them all in there. Don't skip any. Make sure they're all nice and tight. Okay, I'm going to stuff this in here, because now, since we ended with junk yarn on the outside layer, I'm just going to pull this all off. There we go. So we're going to flip the hat inside out to get the junk yarn on the inside. And to do this, I'm going to find at the top of my row my yarn tail, and then where my like tail started, so you can see, like, if you pull that tail, you're gonna have these on here. That's what cinches up the top of your hat. So to save this yarn, instead of cutting it off, I like to follow that, and I can see that it's coming in here, so I am going to pull it this way. And then usually it's in a stitch right there. And now you can unravel your first row of junk yarn without having to cut it and waste your yarn. I did this so that I could save my junk yarn rows because I was getting tired of wasting junk yarn. And voila. And if you want, you can close up the top with both sides. Like if I was going to do a purple and a really long tail and the camo and a really long tail, I could have used them both at the same time to weave around. You don't have to do that. If you feel like yours is a little bit gappy or whatever, just take it and weave in between it to fill it up. You won't have that problem if you use the two strands together, but I mean, it's really all personal preference, so just do whatever you would like to do. I'm going to tie off my tail now. You can do this before you start wrapping the hair tie if you like. Really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is, here's this tail, and I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to pull it right there. Now I'm going to go back into the same spot, but leave a loop like that. And I'm going to go through the loop, tighten it a little bit, go back around and through the loop again. And pull it down. And now I can take that and hide it in between my layers. So for this one, I decided to take my tail and wrap around the top again. I'm going to be gifting this hat to one of my friends, and we live in the country, so our hats get used quite a bit and go through some rough times. So I figured the more closure and stuff around the hair tie would be better, and I like it. It looks nice. Nice and secure. And then I just tucked and tied the tail for the camo the same way that I did for the purple, and I hid it. And now all we have to do is just fold up the brim however far we need to, and there's the ponytail hat. How cool is that? I love it. I can't wait to make more of these. Excellent job, Jamie. I'm super proud of you. This is really fun to make, easy and simple, and I love how simple it is for anybody to be able to do. So good job, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed her pattern, and we cannot wait to see you guys create these. Thank you.